woman was found shot at her home in the early morning hours of Saturday the 10th of December in Richmond, Indiana. At 3:58 a.m, officers were dispatched to 116 Randolph Street on report that someone had been shot. When officers arrived at the residence, they found 42-year-old Brandy Jo Fox dead with a gunshot wound to her chest. Investigators at the scene processed evidence and spoke with witnesses. Little information has been released by authorities at this stage, and it's unclear whether she was murdered, accidentally shot herself, or it was suicide. Just 2 hours prior, Brandy posted on Facebook that it was her twin Zach and Ava's birthday, and they had just turned 8. On the afternoon prior to her death, she posted that no man is worth more than her happiness, stating that her standards are so high now. Good luck, she wrote. Stefania Hager posted a tribute on Brandy's Facebook page, saying, "Fly high on the mountains. I will miss you. Watch over us down here and protect us, sis. If you would have told me a month ago it was the last night out with you, I wouldn't have believed it. I wish you would have listened and taken my advice. I watch your babies here and be there for them. I love you," she wrote. The investigation is active and ongoing. A 19-year-old woman was fatally shot in Lexington, Kentucky over the weekend. At around 5:45 a.m. on Saturday the 10th of December, the authorities responded to reports of shots fired along the 3400 block of Colonnade Drive. When officers arrived at the scene, they found a young woman in a crash car who had been shot multiple times, and she was pronounced dead. Police said the suspect had fled the area before officers arrived. The Fayette County's coroner's office identified the woman as Elena Mammon, and her death was ruled a homicide. So far, no arrests have been made, and the motive of the attack is unknown. Police are asking for anyone with information in their case to contact Crime Stoppers. The Lexington Rescue Mission paid tribute to Elena, saying, "We're heartbroken to learn of Elena's death last weekend. Elena volunteered, alongside her mother, in preparing meals for residents in our transitional homes. She blessed many people in their time of need through her service, and our hearts go out to her family during this difficult time. Please join us in lifting them up in prayer." The authorities have identified a 34-year-old woman who was fatally shot inside a used car dealership in Snellville, Georgia last week. At around 2:30 p.m. on Friday the 9th of December, the authorities responded to the Royal Court Motors, located at 3485 Centerville Highway, on reports of a person down. When officers arrived, they located a woman identified as Courtney Owens, who was dead from a gunshot wound inside the business. Police said that a man wearing a mask walked into the store and shot Courtney. He was an employee at the dealership. Witnesses saw the shooter running from the business brandishing a gun, and police are still searching for the suspect. The authorities are reviewing surveillance footage from the business. Corporal Ryan Windle-Weedle of the Gwinnett County Police Department said the suspect may have been known to the victim or the business itself. He said that detectives are following up on leads to try and figure out what the motive would be, he said. Courtney's family said she was a loving mother, daughter, sister, and had a heart of gold. There are no words to express how much she was loved and will be missed. The investigation into the matter continues. On the 5th of December, 32-year-old Matthew Drigg from Huntington, Indiana, was charged with neglect of a dependent resulting in death after his girlfriend's 8-year-old son died in his care. At around 7:40 p.m. on the 22nd of November, deputies were called to a residence in the 1300 block of Drover Street, where a woman told police she came home and found her son unresponsive in his room with a zip tie around his neck. Officers spoke with Matthew, who was home with the boy at the time. He said he took the boy home from the Boys and Girls Club because he was having a bad day, saying he may have been bullied. He said that once they were home, he put the boy in his room and locked it, because it was his safe space. Matthew told officers that the boy had mental disorders and had recently been to Parkview Behavioural Health for attempting to choke himself. The authorities completed a search of the home, where they found a bag of zip ties in the boy's room. They say the door on the lock was purposely turned around so it could be locked from the outside. Detectives noted that it appeared that the boy attempted to pick the lock. Down the hall from his room, they say there was a room with a keypad lock with a gaming system inside that was still on. Investigators then questioned the boy's mother, who told them about her son's behavioural struggles over the past few years, saying he attempted to commit suicide in the past. She said he had started new medication and was in therapy and was doing better. She said that when she came home, she found Matthew playing video games. Matthew told her that the boy was doing good and was in his room, and when she went to check on him, she found him on the floor and attempted CPR before calling 911. When officers asked why the lock was flipped around on the boy's door, she said it was Matthew's idea. The boy's mother texted Matthew about 45 minutes before she got home to check in on her son. Matthew reportedly did not respond because he was busy playing on his video game. He allegedly told police that he did not check on the boy because he got sidetracked. As police searched the residence, they found a leather jacket belonging to Matthew in the back bedroom. They had fresh scratch marks on it, and purple medical gloves in the inside pocket. They say they found zip ties throughout the home, and one that was cut and thrown in the trash that matched the one found on the boy. Detectives then interviewed Matthew. He said the boy threw a tantrum when he picked him up from the Boys and Girls Club that day. He said he was being aggressive, so he locked the boy up in his room and went and played video games. Officers noted that he became increasingly nervous when talking about it, and it changed what he had first told police at the scene. The doctor who performed the autopsy said they could not immediately determine the cause of death, but they could not rule out homicide. He noted that research concerning suicide shows it would be difficult for a small child to apply adequate tension, saying it appears a pulling force was applied from the back of his neck. The child had reportedly been inside the room for about 2 hours. Matthew is currently facing one charge of neglect of a dependent resulting in death. He was held at the Huntington County Jail, but was released after posting a $15,000 bond.